Good afternoon. It's an honor to be here. From the early days of researching sound and consciousness and biofeedback with Jean Millet at 3220 and many things over the years, it feels very good to be amongst family today. So this next song is dedicated to all of us and to Henry.
Thank you so much, Stephen. Our next two celebrants were longtime friends of Henry Dakin's and the members of the Dakin family, and who also, in my memory, created one of the most outrageous events that was ever held at 3220, with more people, more food, more energy, and more excitement when the Bioneers came to town. It was always a little bit like the circus, when the whole show comes with the most exciting, interesting people and musicians and artists and writers and life changers, and represented by the co-founders and co-directors of the Bioneers, who were longtime friends of Henry. Please welcome Nina Simons and Kenny Ossipel.
This is very moving. I miss Henry. I haven't been in this room since, I think, 1997, when we actually held the Bioneers Conference here before we moved up to Marin. And for those early and middle 90s, Henry had been on our board, and 3220 was sort of a second home for us. It was like a hatchery, such a vital, incredible place. I always felt like Henry was running a fertility clinic or something. And at that time, Dr. John Mohawk was on our board, who also passed away a few years ago. And we used to get into these kind of star-roving explorations that spirituality was the ultimate form of political consciousness. And you could just see the hairs on the back of Henry's neck rise. He was practically levitating, and just the pulse of energy that came out of that place, and just the sheer kindness of the man. I mean, I'm so profoundly moved. That was, I think, the biggest lesson of all that I learned from Henry. And I guess the quintessential Henry story for me was in 1998 at the Bioneers Conference. Julia Butterfly had been up in her tree for over a year at that point. And Henry got this idea, or I don't know where it came from, but he definitely ran with it, that we were going to patch Julia in by mobile telephone from Luna. And of course, at that time, those of you who are a little older remembered that there weren't cell phones, there were mobile phones that weighed about 3 or 4 pounds. So I don't know how Julia kept her balance in the tree, but in any case, we had this room staked out with a telephone connection and speakers, and there were several false starts where the connection failed, and everybody's sitting around kind of concerned, and Henry never missed a beat. He just stayed with it, and suddenly the stars aligned. There was Julia from Luna, a couple thousand feet in the sky, beaming into this room at Bioneers, and Henry had done what he loved to do best in many ways, which was to create a technological campfire with nature at the center and community sitting in a circle around it, around the technological campfire. And that for me was just the most vivid, memory that came to me today of remembering Henry. So I'm so grateful to have known him, to have known the whole Dakin family, Sue Dakin, Virgilia, all of you who have been so profoundly important in our lives and our work. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
And compared to many of you, I'm a relative newcomer to Henry's life. But about 15 years ago, my father died very suddenly and unexpectedly. And a very wise woman said to me, "Watch carefully for where in your life the energy of your father is going to appear." And Henry came into my life very soon after that. And so he was a profound friend and mentor and really became family, as I'm sure is an experience shared by many of you. And what I found was that he, like my father, he celebrated human wholeness. And he embodied the most beautiful marriage of the masculine and the feminine. We would set up for meetings at 3220, and he would always think about making sure everybody had a glass of water, and he was like a father hen, running around and making sure everyone was comfortable. And then he would come up with these brilliant visions about how he wanted to see Bioneers broadcast everywhere in the world all at once, simultaneously translated into every language, and he wanted to be able to walk around the campus of Bioneers with a headset so he never had to choose between workshops. He could listen to all of them. So it's just with a really huge heart full of love and gratitude that I stand here with you and am so grateful for the opportunity to pour our love and gratitude in through that Henry-sized hole in the world to reach him where he is, because I know he's combining that beautiful combination of elder and child, you know, giggling bashfully as his toes curl with delight, and feeling what we're, this community that he so beautifully wove among all of us. Thank you. Thank you, Henry.
And now we're going to hear a song from Sereng Wamo. And while she's coming up, I'm just going to say, take a little, what would you call it, temperature of the room. Also, we're going to try and get the lights turned up a little bit. I think Patrice is working on that. We have on the program to take a 15-minute break after Sereng is going to bring a song into our lives. But I just want to take sort of the pulse, because we're running a little late. Would folks like to take maybe just a very short stretch break following the song and just continue right with the flow? Or if you would like to take an intermission. So let me see, how many folks, just raise your hands, would like to just continue with the flow of the afternoon as it is? And who feels like they'd like to take an intermission break? All right, we'll take a short intermission. We won't go 15 minutes, but we'll do a quick one. So please welcome Sereng Wamo. And then after she's done with her song, I think we'll just take maybe 30 seconds of silence and then come back 5 minutes later. Does that work? Okay, great.
Hello, everyone. I wanted to dedicate this song to Henry and Henry's family. This song is from eastern part of Tibet. Most of the Tibetan folk songs the lyrics are very spiritual, and so this particular song is reminding all living beings the impermanence of this life, and while living your life, reminding them to be kind and compassionate. That's the only thing you can take beyond this life. So that's exactly what Henry did all his life. So I'm very grateful to know Henry and his family, and happy to share my song here to celebrate Henry's life. Thank you.